and one of the two remaining chiefs of the Pine Ridge Nation, Chief Charles Redcliffe, and plain clothes crow. That completes the list. They are the ones, delegates who are going to negotiate with the Washington delegates. Now I'm going to ask Mr. Patterson to introduce his. Wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to respond and introduce the White House representatives who are here with me. We want to repeat again, as Mr. Garment's letter to Chief Woolsborough said in writing this morning that I presented to the Chief, all of these people, all of us together, have been chosen by the President to come here and be White House representatives. I'm sure some of them are in other agencies, but they are for this visit. They have been chosen by the President as White House representatives. They are, on my left, first of all, Mr. Leslie Gay. Mr. Gay is... Les is the Assistant Director for Tribal Operations in the Bureau of Indian Affairs. The reason he's particularly available and will be so helpful to us this afternoon is to answer any of your questions about the programs and government policies on this and the Teton Sioux reservations. He is equipped with facts and figures to answer any of your questions. Next, one of our White House representatives is Mrs. Bobbie Kilberg, known to us affectionately as Bobbie. And Mrs. Kilberg is a consultant to the White House, a past member of the White House staff, a White House fellow, in fact. And the White House fellows are distinguished people from private life who are chosen to come to work in government for a year. And Mrs. Kilberg was accorded that honor and then stayed on in the White House staff. Mrs. Kilberg was one of the ones particularly who was responsible for putting together the President's message on Indian affairs. With me also as a White House representative is Mr. Charles Soller. Charles is a native of Denver, of Colorado, I believe, and is the Assistant Solicitor of the Department of the Interior. And in that capacity is able and ready to answer your questions about the legal relationships between the laws of Congress and the tribes, the legal status of the congressional acts affecting Indians. And I'm particularly glad to have you here to be able to respond to any questions or information you may ask about that. And finally, the fifth White House representative, Mr. Craig Decker. Mr. Decker is an attorney in the Lands Division of the Department of Justice. It's Mr. Decker who knows more than anyone in the United States government about the 1868 treaty and about the claims which have arisen from that treaty and the status of all those claims actions before the Indian Claims Commission. And I'm sure you may have questions about that, and so Mr. Decker has been designated as White House representative to be here to answer your questions. My own experience has been on the White House staff for 4 years as executive assistant to Leonard Garment. I'm taking his place today. I should explain in response to the Chief's question that Mr. Garment did want to come himself, but he has been given an assignment by the President as acting counsel in addition to his responsibility as special consultant. He is completely tied up in that assignment, and I'm very sorry, and he is sorry, he can't be with us this afternoon. So that is our delegation. We also have Mr. Dennis Ickes, who is our liaison officer here. Mr. Ickes, I might add, is a member of the staff and attorney of the Department of Justice with the Civil Rights Division. Mr. Ickes is here on the Pine Ridge Reservation, along with another colleague of his, Mr. Stoiber, with a red tie. Mr. Ickes and Mr. Stoiber are here pursuing an investigation of any civil rights complaints here on the Oglala Sioux Reservation. And I think they'd be available to answer your questions about the progress of that inquiry. Also here, which they know about, and know a lot more about than I do, is an auditing team which has been called in also pursuant to the April 5th agreement to make an audit of the books of the Oglala Tribal Council. and Mr. Ickes and Mr. Stoiber can answer some general questions about the progress of that order. We also have Mr. Tom Evans here, who is our press assistant. Now, I'm going to turn the proceedings over to Mr. King again. Thank you.